All right, here we are again. It seems that the internet will continue to outdo itself by the second here as I've looked, just minding my own business and looking through my timeline on Twitter and come across this beautiful article that the Nightmare Before Christmas writer says that she thinks the movie's villain, Oogie Boogie, is racist and looks like a Ku Klux Klansman. That's what we're talking about, so stay tuned. Now it's just one of those things, the day goes by and a few minutes passed and something hasn't been racist in a few minutes, so we got to think of something, right? And what better of a thing than a nice holiday movie which my son loves and adores and sings the songs from constantly, and we got to make it bad. We got to find some reason that the writer, I must be crazy, but this person is upset that the character is portrayed the way they are, but they wrote them. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being silly, but I thought the writer was the one that came up with this sort of thing. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you think. We'll get this out of the way right now. I would like to know in the comments: is Oogie Boogie racist? Is the character insensitive? I don't know. That's not for me to decide, but it's for me to comment on because I think it's absolutely absurd. Again, nothing is safe or sacred in the world today. Everything's just one big problem. We got to get rid of it all. And before you know it, we're all going to be walking around in gray jumpsuits. And we're going to be taking medication that just makes us like zombies. So she says in this article from insider.com, first of all, he looks like a Ku Klux Klansman. Secondly, Oogie Boogie is an old Southern derogatory phrase for an African American, and I'm from Maryland, which is just on the cusp of the South, so I'm hyper aware of that and sensitive to it, Thompson said. Oh, okay. All right, so she's from Maryland, so she's very aware of how the South is and how racist it is. Okay. The screenwriter admitted that she flipped out about the character and even confronted filmmaker producer Tim Burton about it. She goes on to say, I went to director Henry Selick and said, we got to change this. Thompson recalled an insider. Tim Burton said, oh, stop it, you're being oversensitive. I'm still really embarrassed about it. It's all kind of, and I thought it was incredibly insensitive. And she goes on to say that because Ken Page, the guy who voiced Oogie Boogie, is black, that just makes it the big trifecta of wrongness. So, I don't know, man. Again, this is all a really weird thing that we're dealing with on a constant basis, and what do you do with this information? What happens when someone claims that something like this is, that the character is racist? Do they digitally remove his little top of his head? And it's just so she thinks that because of so the black man that's voicing a character who marginally resembles someone wearing a KKK hood, and his name is Oogie Boogie, and it's not I guess if it's unfortunate if the term does exist. I've never heard it. I've never heard someone. I guess that's wrong. I guess Dave Chappelle did use it in his skit, right? But they call him Oogie Boogie in the film a couple times, I think. But the Oogie Boogie Man, the Boogeyman, every kid has its own version of the Boogeyman. So again, where do you go? What do you do with this information? This just seems to be, again, some nonsensical information that someone put out, and because they spoke it into existence, it has to be true. And now everyone, now people are going to like rally behind this in some way. I don't. It seems more problematic to me to bring up something like this than to just like again, I don't understand the end game of what's being said. You know, I don't think, I mean, I have I have some very progressive people I know. I've never once heard them bring up something like this. I mean, maybe when they hear it, they'll be like, oh my God, okay. You know, it's just hard. This is the kind of thing that, again, it leads back into the discussion on, well, it doesn't really relate much to that, but again, there's no way this, like, what's going to happen is more than likely Disney will bend the knee in some way, and when this movie is re-released, again on some, whether it's digitally or whatever, they're going to raise his head, like maybe they'll change the tune of the song he's playing so it's not so jazzy. Maybe it's just stupid. It's just a bunch of fucking whiny kids that there's nothing better to do. It's not. This isn't even a kid. This is a grown person speaking out about this. It's just, and I'm not insensitive to like, if there's something out there that's so egregious it shouldn't be around. I agree. Like, but again, I think we're grasping at straws here, and for what? Like, what is this? What does Caroline Thompson hope to gain from all this? What again? I don't know the end game. Maybe someone else does. These are the things that I'm constantly battling with in my head every single day. And there's and you bring something like this up publicly, whether it's in a video or it's a question you ask someone or it's a tweet or a status on Facebook, and you're lambasted because you're all of a sudden some sympathizer, you're some, racist or something. And it doesn't, and I have to say, because of a few people, that people are starting to wake up to the fact that this is ridiculous. And it's a fight, like, seemingly not worth fighting. We're in this space of publicly shaming people in order to get our way, and it's destroying people's careers and livelihoods over something that could be probably settled behind closed doors, especially in something like this. I mean, maybe I'd understand if Ken Page had come forward and being like, I was forced to do this, I wanted to do it in a certain way, and they wouldn't let me, and they told me I had to be like a Southern good boy and blah blah blah, and this to me just seems like it's like someone's chasing some sort of controversy to be put somewhere in the spotlight. I don't know, man. It's a weird time, and I don't want people to contribute to this garbage because, again, you're ruining people's credibility and livelihood, and you're ruining your own credibility when she stands up and says this is racist and he looks like a Ku Klux Klansman. What? I've never thought that, even for a fraction of a second, and I would be willing to put a lot of money on the line that there's many people out there that have never had that thought. But I don't know. That's it, man. That's it. Appreciate you guys again. Contributing to the views and likes and stuff like that. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel and taking the time to look at this stuff. I think these are all important topics to discuss and think about. Like, I know it's difficult for people to to stand up and say, yes, screw that, I'm not dealing with it. But there's not enough people allowing the conversation to ensue. Rather than someone being like, hey, this doesn't seem so good to me. I don't know if I agree with that. That happens, and then the mob comes and they just drive people out. No questions asked. It's just, you're an asshole. Yeah, you can have an opinion, but we're gonna just like scoot you right off this platform. Not good. It's not good. It's lazy. That's what people do when they don't want to use their brain and talk about something. They'd rather just use mob justice to push the conversation away under the rug. It's too hard. Low information. Thanks again, guys. Make sure you like the video, share it with your friends if you can. Subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you are notified every time a new video goes up. Thanks a lot.